What's going on? Welcome back here to another video on the Banack Industries YouTube channel. Now today we're going over my sled. You might have seen in the last video we actually went out to Revelstoke. We went sledding. It was a great time. I had a bunch of issues with the clutch setup that I had, so the sled wasn't running perfect, but we made some changes, so I'm going to show you guys that today. We also have a new boost gauge that we're going to be installing on the sled. Got to figure out where we're going to mount that. And because I somehow have a hole that's decided to burn its way through the hood, we have a replacement panel. So we're going to be putting this in and figuring out, why I had that hole burn. But I'm going to get the hood off and we'll get right into her. Alright, sorry about the little bit of noise, just the furnace running in the background. So I'll show you here. That's where this hole came from. That's the hole. So it melted right through. Notice that on the last day. But what had happened is there used to be a little steel piece kind of holds this in place. It doesn't allow this temp sensor to come loose. Now this sensor, it actually had fallen, or it came loose and then fell out. So that's what caused this to burn a hole. So I'm still waiting on the piece to hold that in, but I just have it set in there temporarily and tightened down. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I just want to bring you guys over here to the clutches. Pop that off. Now, as you guys might have seen, when we installed these clutches, we actually got new ramps from Silver's Turbo. It was their setup of, they're custom designed ramps. So they're more designed for these turbos and loading the engine. Well, when I put it together last year, because we didn't have, we had the factory ramps and everything from Skidoo. There's these little pinch bolts right here. I'll see if I can get the camera to focus. There we go. So yeah, there's this little bolt in here. Now that's a pinch bolt, and that holds your adjuster, the ramp in here, and then that's your torque roller. Now last year I had an extra bolt, and then I had extra weight added to that pinch bolt. So when I set it up this year, of course around here with being such a low elevation that we have, it was running perfect. Then once I got to elevation, we went and rode Quartz Creek at Golden the first day. I could only get 6,500 RPM. I took a bunch of weight out. It made it better. But just with the snow being as deep as it was, I couldn't actually see what I was getting for RPM, which was kind of an issue. Rode 3 more days, and then the sled, because we went up in elevation some more, it kept getting worse. So here I thought I was having boost issues. I thought the sled might not be running correctly because spark plugs, and trying to diagnose it just because the way it was acting, it would have great bottom end, and then it would get to the top end and kind of die off. I wasn't sure what was going on, but on the last day I figured out that it was the weights. So on your clickers, if you have the same kind of setup as me, I'm just kind of looking at it here to think of what I need to say. So yeah, run the factory Skidoo pinch bolt, and then I have my clicker set on number 4, and I'll just show you guys that. So we'll see. I'll zoom in. Yeah, so right here, this little guy there, that's on number 4, and that's your clickers on these newer Skidoos. So if you guys set your clutches like that, you should have no issues. or at least anyways on my setup I'm not having issues. And I do have the primary spring and the secondary spring and helix from Silber's installed on this sled. So there you guys know. Don't make that mistake that I did, because I was still able to ride, but I was maxing out at like 7,500 RPM, and it made this sled not what it should be for being a turbo. So yeah, we'll move on and we'll get that piece fixed. So that didn't take very long getting this shit apart. I just want to show you guys the extent of the damage from that temp sensor or probe in the exhaust falling out. So as we saw, this is right underneath the headlights. That's what we could see on the outside. So it melted through fairly bad. Now there is a couple pieces of wrap left on that one, so that's gonna suck. We lose those. That's garbage. Come over to here. This is the headlights. Doesn't look too bad from the top. Then you look there. It melted a hole into the headlight. Messed that up pretty bad. So I'm gonna have to take and probably fill that with hot glue, just to waterproof this again, but that sucks. So we're just going to set this down here. And now we come here to the major piece of the puzzle. This is the other piece. That cut through there really, really bad. That's all heat. That's all that did that, was just heat. That's amazing. So I'm going to have to tape that, kind of figure out how I can do this to maintain that, make it waterproof again, and seal it. I don't know if I'm going to keep this as the main intake, because one thing I did see is I was on the Boondocker website looking at the Sidekick turbos. They actually have a cold air piece that bolts onto here, and then a soft hose that'll mate up to the suction. So I might actually buy that, and then what that'll do is I'll be able to cut lots of this out and make this sled a lot lighter. Especially with the new talk of those 850 turbos, on how they saved so much, you know, out of the hood. If I can do that with this but still keep like rigidity of it, I might do that. But I'm gonna have to fix this up. Probably just tape and then hot glue over. Won't be pretty, but you won't see that ever. And then yeah. So such a simple thing caused a lot of damage. If I was to replace everything, it'd be like $300-400 bucks, I'm assuming. The piece that I swapped out, it was just over 60 bucks. So that's not too bad. I got lucky. I noticed it right away because I could smell plastic burning, and I was like, well, what's going on? And then, of course, we had a short day the last day we were in Revy, so we just went back to the trucks, and like 6K away from the truck. We didn't go too far. So, yeah, I'm just grateful the sled didn't burn down, because that definitely could have been the case in this part. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all this shit repaired. I'm going to get it back on the sled, and then we're going to look at how we're going to mount our boost gauge, and yeah, just what we all have to do there. But I'm going to catch up with you guys in a little bit, put you guys back on time lapse so you guys can kind of see what I do, but you know, it's going to be pretty boring. So catch up in a little bit. Alright, so here we go. Just got done gluing those. kind of give you guys an idea of what I did. But so this is this one. Just filled in the hole. I glued it, and then I put a little bit of snow on here just to make it hard. So it doesn't look great, but when it's on the sled, you'll hardly ever notice. But we'll know. Not completely happy with that, but now this should be watertight again, and then I will keep moisture out. Happy about that. And then for the big hole here, a little bit harder to show you guys. What I did is I ran electrical tape first just to fill in the hole, and then I just overlaid hot glue, and of course once again covered it with snow, and that just helps cool it a little quicker. I could paint that black and that would make that look a lot better, but since it's under the hood and we're not going to see it, I don't really care. But that is that's my fix for that. So we're going to throw the hood back together and get to the boost gauge. Alright, so there we go. That's all back on there. I'll just take you guys out of the tripod here. So, here's our new piece. It's installed. That's all you can see now. So just a little bit of black from where it burnt the lens there. But, like, from here, you don't even notice. So, really happy that we replaced this piece. I'll show you guys a part number. If you have that happen, set that up here. That is your part number. So, really cheap, easy fix. Now, let's get into this boost gauge. So, I picked up, it's an Autometer 502, part number. This is what it all comes with. So we'll do this back here on this tunnel. It's a white boost gauge. More or less just make it easier to see. Now this is 0 to 15 pounds. I'm only running 5 pounds right now, but that's the spring I have in. Now I'll actually be able to know what actual boost I have. So it has a little 194 bulb for a backlight. It's got some 1/4-inch pipe fittings, and then just some fittings here for the airline that it comes with. Mounts, some stickers, whatever. We'll get into that. Now, the one thing that I didn't want to do is because I see lots of guys, they'll have their boost gauge somewhere here on their handlebars. Now, with having shorter risers, I kind of keep all this shit really tight. And with the big pad, like, it would have to be out here. So I don't like that. I'm trying to come up with somewhere where I can actually mount it by the gauges. So when I'm standing on the sled, in normal position, especially because when I stand, like, I'm really close to the handlebars, so having it here, that's really low. So I'd like to keep it out here somewhere. placed. So I'm going to set some stuff back in. I have a lot of configuring to figure out, and then I'll let you guys know what I come up with. Alright, so after a good probably hour, half hour looking at this, this is what I've came to. There's our gauge. It's in there. Now what I did, I'll show you guys, I'll take that off. What I did is I drilled a hole right in this gauge bezel. So that's how that is. Now I drilled this hole using a 2-inch hole saw. That made this really tight. So this is in there, like I can push on it and it doesn't really want to move. Which is good, because then I won't need to worry about the little bracket that they usually hold it in with. What I'll probably do is I'll just run a hose clamp around it and that'll hold it tight. I won't be able to come back through. Now yes, I have to clean up some of this because it's not perfect yet. And then, because I have it up here so high, get that to sit in here properly. Just got a bunch of cords and shit and whatnot in there. It's not sitting down quite the way it should. But what I did is then I took a 2 1/8 drill bit and I drilled. So what I was able to do is I took the corner here, put the drill bit in the corner, but on this side, and then drilled straight through. Not the cleanest cut that I wanted, but you know what? It's not too bad. And when you're standing on the sled, you look down, there's your gauge, there's your boost. That'll be really easy to see. And I will wire a light so I can see that as well. But that's the mounting so far that I've done on it. See, and I can't even turn it by hand. It's in there tight. So that was the mounting. Now I have to go ahead and I'm gonna wire up the how do I say this? I'm gonna wire up the light. I'm gonna I'm gonna wire that into the charge system I have for this garment. And all that is it's a couple wires. So I'll tie in, I'll show you. So it's got wires right here, charge wires. So I'll tie into these, and that'll tap my power for the light, and then I'll just wire it in through there. And then we got to run our hose. I don't know if I'm going to use the supplied hose, because the guy at Mopac, when I bought this, he said this stuff gets super brittle. I don't want that, and I don't want it to break. So I might use this. I might get some different hose. I'm not sure yet. But really, it's either going to get plumbed into, there's a fitting right here at the wastegate that I can plumb in where it reads boost pressure, or really I can pull this out or tap into here, and that's going to have, you know, this is all pressurized in the air box, so I can tie in wherever I need, and that'll give me my boost reading. So I'm going to go ahead, get a little bit further into this. Of course, I'll cut these off because I won't need them now. The studs. And this was the old style little bracket, so that would have slid over here, and then that just holds tension on it, but we don't need that now. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this finished up, and then I'll show you guys when it's all complete. Alright, so we're about a week later from where I filmed actually the start of this video. Now, work's just been hectic, long hours, whatever. But We did, ooh, yeah, there we go. We do have this thing. It's pretty much done. I'll show you guys what it looks like. See if I can one-hand pull start. Nope. Now, of course, running, I could give it some throttle. You guys won't see the gauge move. That, you'll have to wait for some of the riding videos. But I'll show you guys what I did here. Just gonna do this one hand. So we'll pop this up. Take this right out. So this is the back side. So there you guys can see. We took power because I have my GPS mount there. So I stole power off of that. Now we're just running, it's a little LED bulb that's in here. But there is a pigtail. You can get this pigtail from Skidoo. I'll give you guys, there you go. Alright. That's the part number for the pigtail. And if you take that, that'll just tie into your headlight harness and it'll, you know, be able to get you power. So we have our power, of course fused, runs up in there. And I have some FlexFab silicone heater hose. It's 1/4 inch. It's ran into our block. Now we'll see if I can do this. Pop this off. Trying to work one hand, so a little hard. I'm gonna just set you guys down here for a sec. Like I said, nothing's bolted down. So you got your gauge here. Just set that there. So we have this hose. It's ran along the, I guess you'd call this the main A-frame, but up into this joint. That's where it pops out, and then into our little gauge. But what I did, just ran it. Of course, zip tie I got to cut still. If you look down in there, try this angle. So that's the cold shell of the turbo. That's what I'm touching right there. So there's already a hose that comes out and it runs over to your wastegate. That helps control the wastegate. So you have boost there. So what I did, took an 1/8 inch 1/8 pipe, T and fittings, and that's what I connected those hoses up with. So all in all, very, very simple install. If you're looking to do this yourself, with fittings, hoses, the gauge, and then an LED light, you might be $100. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends what brands and what hose, fittings, all that, whatever you go with. It costed me right around there, give or take, you know. I don't really know. It's been a while. So that is the boost gauge. Now stay tuned in upcoming videos. There's going to be more riding videos. We did do a trip to Revy. I tried to film as much as possible. But lots of that stuff didn't end up actually, working out. We lost a lot of footage, ended up time-lapsing a bunch of shit. So sorry on that, but we will try for our next trip. Get you guys some footage of this machine. And now that we got the clutching dialed, we have boost that we can see. You know, it's going to be a party. So, thanks again for watching. Make sure to go below and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, head on over, check out our online store at shopbanackindustries.ca. It's where you can get some of our merchandise. But once again, thanks for watching. See you next time.